Welcome to this week's episode of Dirt Grinder. Today's plan is to get you out on some tight single tracks within the state of Idaho. I get into a lot of gnarly country today, super tight, super technical, and a lot of steep hill climbs. I plan to bring you guys along and kind of show you a little bit of the tips and the tricks that I use as far as clutch control when it comes to ascending a hill or descending a hill, and how to use that front brake and rear brake when it comes to ascending and descending. A lot of the questions that are always asked out there is it better to use 2 fingers on my clutch control or 1 sole finger on the clutch control? To me, honestly, it's a preference. I will demonstrate today on the trail exactly how I use it, what works for me, and what's comfortable for me out on the trail. Obviously, ultimately, you guys yourself are going to have to decide what's comfortable for you and what works for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on the trail, follow along. See, I'll show you some of the techniques, see what you can pick up on. If I do show you some things, try to keep up on it. If not, I'll be counting it out, pointing it out as I do it, and hopefully we can teach you guys to be better riders. Let's go. As I stated before, you have 2 different grips that I typically go by. You have your index finger, which is a solo finger pulling on the clutch lever, and you have a 2-finger grip pulling on the clutch lever. Pros to a single finger index finger grip: one, it allows you to have 3 fingers and a thumb grabbing onto the handlebars. As you can see here, this is me attempting a solid hill climb to start off the trail. If you notice on the upper left hand corner, you can see where I am using the single finger index grab. You notice right here I pull the clutch in quick. Just a little blip of the clutch. It keeps you going, keeps that traction. That way you're not spinning that back wheel when you're going up a steep incline. So here we are out on the CRF 250R, riding a little single track. Got off work at 2. Figured we'd come out, try to have a little fun the end of the day here. Just as in the clutch as well on the brake, same concept. Try to use that 1 finger. Makes it to where you can do quick jabs of the front brake if need be while descending a hill. This is a steep hill. As you're going to see here, as I claimed before, I am no professional rider, but I do want to show you the impact that steep hills and loose soil does have when you're out riding on a tight single track and you have to cut off the trail. Obviously you can see here gravity got the best of me, and we learn, we press on, we make the best of it, and we move forward. So as you can see, when you're going uphill, it can be steep. If you want to look back, trying to cut through this brush is just too slick, and the ass end wants to get out from underneath you. So as you can see there, beautiful land. Took us about a mile up, cutting straight up the ridge. Goes into a 2-track here. If you saw on there the demonstrations that I did, majority of everything I do uphill, like I mentioned before, is with the single grab index finger. Typically when I'm doing the downhill stuff, I'm usually using the 2-finger method. Like right now I got a pretty good arm pump. That is not an easy trail, I can tell you that right now. Very tough. So what we're gonna do, take off, and I'm gonna head back down the trail now. I am going to demonstrate 2-finger method. On the 2-finger grip, another great way to use to ride. I notice a lot of guys do a 2-finger grip. The one thing I don't like about it is I've noticed that when you're ascending on a hill, you only got 3 fingers gripping the handlebars, 2 on the clutch lever. I've had a hard time controlling the bike while ascending an incline, hill climb, rocky terrain, different things like that. What it does do for you though is it gains you that ability to last a little bit longer if need be, not quite as much fatigue doing it this way. You can see where going downhill, it gives your hand a little bit more of some rest. You can use 2 fingers. It gains you a little more strength in riding. Now when I'm going downhill, you can see that at times I have the clutch drawn, engaged I should say, and other times I'm just resting my fingers on the clutch. Just depending on what type of terrain. Sometimes I'm using the motor to help slow me down. 2 fingers, again, kind of preference, rider preference. Ultimately one, a little bit easier on the brake because you're not pulling the brake lever in as far as you have to pull the clutch lever in. There is one more method that I like to refer to as the beginner method. You will have guys that are new to riding, might not have the endurance built up in their arms and their hands yet. What they will do is they will use all 4 fingers to pull the clutch in. Like I said, they might not have that strength. Do not get in the habit of that. Try to avoid that. Try to stick with 2 fingers if you don't have the strength with 1 yet. Get the fundamentals down. You can dab that clutch with a single finger or 2 fingers, whatever you prefer. It is rider preference. So most of that riding there that I'm doing is all 2nd gear. 3rd gear when I see openings. This is the steepest part. I have had a hell of a time practicing to get up this hill without stopping. If you can see right now, my ass is all the way over the fender. That's how steep this is. The camera's not going to do it justice, but it is steep. You can see how rutted out. A lot of guys don't make it up the top. This trail's not the most used. The ones that do make it are working. It ain't easy. Look how rutted up this is. All over the back end with your ass. Ultimately, what you need to do is decide what works for you. Whether it be the 2 fingers on the clutch, 2 fingers on the brake, 1 finger on the clutch, 1 finger on the brake. That's what I prefer. That's what majority of your top riders that ride your Enduros, the Esberg Rodeo, Graham Jarvis, Johnny Walker, all those guys typically use 1 finger. Avoid the habit of placing all 4, as stated before. Very bad habit. It is a beginner habit, and that's usually typically because of their hands and their arms not being used to pulling that clutch in. There is a Magura hydraulic clutch that they do make. Say your clutch is too hard on the pull. I have a Recluse torque drive clutch. It is a stronger clutch. It is a little bit harder for me to pull. That's why I spend a little bit more time out riding, getting my hands and stuff used to doing that. Choose what works best for you. Ultimately, you're going to find what works. Stick to it, practice it. If it's the 2-finger method or the 1-finger method. So thank you to those who managed to make it through the full video. If you didn't make it through the full video, type steep, in the comments. It lets me know you made it all the way through the video. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of Dirt Grinder. Please, if you would, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That's how we can build this channel and promote content in the future. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for upcoming episodes.